So what a lot of people don't realize is that you pretty much started touring like 17, 18, straight out of high school, right? And that's one of the things I wanted to talk about is, so we graduated 2010, right? May of 2010. I remember I went up to San Marcos. I was at Texas State, and you were like, dude. So, okay, do you remember senior year? We had that lock-in, the no siesta fiesta.
Yeah.
And we were supposed to have the lock-in where we're at the school all night, and then they would take us to like either the bowling alley or the skating rink, and you're like, dude, I can't do it because we're driving up to Portland when you guys were gonna record some tracks.
Lost in Existence.
Lost in Existence. You were recording the album.
Mm-hmm.
When people don't realize, you were still 17, right? Because we graduated in May and you didn't turn 18 until August, which is crazy, dude. How was that? Tell us about that experience.
It was a really good experience. I liked working with Chris Crummett on the drums.
Tell us a little bit about the bands that Chris Crummett has worked with.
Oh man, it's been a while. But from what I know, it was Dance Gavin Dance, bands like Alisana, just very, the old school, stuff that we used to listen to back then. So I was excited, to record with him, and it was a lot of fun.
It's crazy that we call Screamo old school, right? That was like 2008, 2009, when that's crazy, dude.
Yeah, so...
so you guys went out to Portland, and you were there for like a good month or so?
Yeah. About a month to record 10 songs on the album. So we had material, we had some material ready, some we were just writing in the studio. I remember waking up in the mornings, walking down the street, getting my breakfast, coming back, and by 11 o'clock, or 12, we were up and in the room just jamming, just kind of making stuff. I'd be jamming with Renee or with Alec or Logan. Just coming up with ideas.
Because it's crazy, because you guys pretty much, like, you had some material down, but you would also write on the spot, right?
Yeah.
That's so gnarly.
Yeah. So, it was a huge learning experience, too. Yeah. Being able to be at a studio that long and, take your time, but also know that, time is of the essence in a way. So it's kind of like you kind of have to balance that out. But very good experience.
You were in love with it. I remember you telling me, dude, Portland is one of the most beautiful places I've ever been to. And I haven't gotten a chance to go out there. I've been to Seattle, but not to Portland. But I remember you being like, dude, like, there's 4 seasons here,
Yeah.
There's trees.
Yeah, definitely.
That's amazing, dude. So, okay, you did that for a month. And then literally after that was when you guys went on tour, no?
I remember after that we had driven home back to McAllen, and it took us like 3 days. Probably, around 3 days to get there. We only had a few days of a break, and like we were on that first tour like that before that week started. Like, so it was crazy. So that tour was a Picnic Party tour with the no, not a Scholar Drive. Drop Dead Gorgeous.
Yeah, because at that time you guys had just signed to Rise, so you were touring with some of these other bands on that label at the time, right?
What Was Me.
What Was Me?
Dude,
these guys were incredible.
So I remember when I met them and like I just heard their music, I was like, wow, it's incredible.
Dude, Tyler Carter, man, that guy has an incredible voice. Like, he's so talented. I mean, that was a lot of fun. Like, they ended up progressing so much, right? Like, they ended up changing so much, but that was so fun to get to watch all of you guys. What Was Me? Who else dropped Dead Gorgeous? Which, golly, dude.
Yeah, Attila.
Sleeping with Sirens, which you used to like too.
Yeah,
I remember you used to tell me about those guys. So that tour, how long was that? Do you remember?
It was about a month. Those tours that we were doing at that time.
About a month, but it was all U.S. mostly. Like, you would cover a lot of ground.
Yeah, it was crazy. So I remember the first 2 weeks on that tour, we were like in Boise, Idaho, and I remember like I just had to take a moment to myself because I was getting homesick. I was like, man, like I was just in Portland for a month. I got home just for a few days, and now I'm back, and I haven't been home, since. And we're in Boise, and I kind of felt that, and it's kind of normal for musicians to kind of feel that the first time they're kind of going out, stuff like that. So kind of felt that, but you need to kind of go through that, to get you get used to it. It's over, and then you go home, and then
I'm sure there's a lot of struggles, like for artists who are barely starting out, where like, hey, like, we're out here but I'm sure that in terms of like finances, like it's tough because like it's not like you guys are making a lot of money. It's not like you guys are getting like first class treatment or anything like that, right? I'm sure there's what are some of the struggles that you saw like on that first tour where you're like, holy crap, dude, like what am I doing? Did you ever get to that point where you're like, what am I doing here?
I think it was good for me because I felt like, man, like I survived that. Like, you know, I made it.
Yeah.
Like, you know what I mean? Like, you know, sometimes, you know, people, you know, stop tours, you know, they want to go home. I mean, it's kind of rare, but I mean, it can happen. So it kind of like toughened me up, I guess you can say, to like the reality of touring and stuff like that.
Because I mean, you guys are pretty much roughing it. Like I remember you telling me, like, dude, we pretty much eat fast food every night. Like, we got to make sure that we budget wisely to be able to make it home.
Yeah, and back then I was so focused on like, you know, just being smart, you know, saving money, that I was eating at McDonald's and Taco Bell every day. I remember we're in Cali and we had just gone inside the Taco Bell and we had ate those little like $2 meal deals or something that they had. And I remember I went outside and like immediately I was just like, oh God, like I just wanted to puke. Like,
dude, you guys could have recorded like another version of Super Size Me touring edition, right? Because like
for sure,
in the documentary, the dude is eating only McDonald's, and
every
it's like
day.
you hit a depression after a while because this
it's
is like
not good.
you're eating crap.
Yeah,
it's good, but you're eating like crap. Golly, dude.
What's it called? Yeah, so like now that, you know, I'm older and I'm, you know, on the road, you think twice about what you're eating because, you know, you're performing every day, you know, mostly every day. So you need to, you know, make sure that you're taking care of your body. I think my body could have, you know, afford it when I was younger, 17, 18, you know, but now it's like I just hit 30 in August. So, you know, diet is important on the road. So, you know, even if it's Subway, I mean, hey, it's something. It's better than
at least switching it up. I remember you would call me and you'd be like, dude, we're in New York and we just played in like, it's like 30 degrees outside, and you'd be in basketball shorts, dude. And of course, like you'd be all like sniffling, like, bro, of course you're gonna get sick. You're in basketball shorts. Like I don't know how you would do that.
So I wasn't in Okay, I remember what you're talking about. We were in Buffalo, New York.
Yes, that's it.
The low had dropped to 12 degrees.
Golly.
And I was
and you're loading up.
Yeah.
Right, like you're outside carrying your gear,
and you know, I remember I had gloves, you know, just because it's so cold and to get your stuff in and out. And I wasn't wearing basketball shorts that day, but I was wearing just regular skinny jeans, you know, one pair of socks, you know, the Vans shoes in 12 degrees. And, you know, I probably had like one jacket.
Of course.
I was kind of nervous because I was like, I remember that night we had slept in the van and we didn't have a diesel van, so we had to turn it off. Oof. It got so cold. I mean, we're all bundled up and like, I remember, and we had talked about it. Like we wrapped the blanket over us and like we could still see our breaths. Like,
no
yeah,
way,
like
dude.
It was.
You guys had to cuddle and everything to.
Alec was like, I was scared that Arnie wasn't gonna wake up the next day.
Dude, I don't know how you survived that. Like how you survived that night. Like,
I mean, that's what I mean. Like when it toughens you up, like you're facing reality. Like it's. You know,
was there ever times, and I remember you would tell me there was times when people would invite you like over to crash at their places, no? Like there was times like, hey, you know, y'all can crash here. I'm sure that must have been nice.
We did that all the time.
Yeah, because it's tough, dude. Like you can't be spending on hotels every night.
Yeah, sometimes they'd invite us, you know, and there'd end up being a whole house party, and we're partying, and then we crash out. And the next day you leave, and it was a lot of those nights back then. Now, I mean, now that we're a little bit older, we're kind of more like reserved.
Yeah.
You know, we still like to have our fun, of course, but not, you know, kind of.
You're not the same person you were at 18, dude.
Yeah.
Without a doubt, like you're not at all the same person you were at 18.
Yeah. So now we're
hopefully not. But